taking it to the streets.
Amelia's holding fuzz to her face in the streets.
We're outside of scenic DuPont.
Master influencer positioning with the fuzzy moth near the mouth.
Okay, we're
Right.
outside our studio. We decided to take things outside to the streets.
Like we said, zero relevance to what we're talking about. But it's too nice a day.
Yeah, it's nice and sunny out, and we just kind of wanted some air.
In Toronto, Canada, so when it's nice outside, you go outside.
Yeah. Okay, so enough about the weather.
Yeah, that's a really tiny segue. Yeah, I know. And very Canadian of us talking about the weather. What we're talking about today is no matchy matchy.
Oh my God. Do you know that people actually like came up to me a couple weeks ago after you posted that on something?
Yeah.
They were.
I posted a reel on our Instagram about this.
So random.
I got the
Matchy
same thing.
Matchy.
They're like, I'm like, okay. So maybe.
What do you mean by that? No matchy matchy.
So what I mean by no matchy matchy is
so much honking.
Wouldn't be Toronto without traffic and cars honking. I think there's an idea that matching is a good idea, and we're here to say generally, often, that's wrong.
Controversial. Well, considering we sort of don't really like saying what's right or wrong based on episode number 1. So why are you taking such a
firm stance
on this? Is this in context? Wow, there's a lot of honking.
Yeah.
Is this in context or in relation to exterior, interior? Are you talking about like going into like whatever store and buying the matching sofa chair combo? Are you like, where are we going with this topic?
Okay, so I guess part of that is like the middle finger, right? It's like,
wow,
yeah, that's I'm like a former skate punk, really, when I was a kid, so there's still a big
reformed skate punk.
You're
a dad now,
right?
And an adult.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so loud in the recording. So here it is. There's a point where matching is not about design or aesthetic or utility. It's about obedience. It's about, this all has to look the same, and that, again, I think that's preying on people's insecurities, not going necessarily for what they like, and they see like a matching set somewhere on a big box showroom floor, and they're like, yes.
Sell me that dream. Sell me that. But maybe can we talk
or
about
nightmare? That? Let's talk about it being a nightmare.
But maybe is it just because we're so on the rock? I feel like in this episode too. So
back
maybe
on the rock.
Back
Let's get
on
off
the rock.
But
maybe it's like, are we just wanting to be sold the like idyllic,
like a package?
Yeah. Is this sort of what's happening?
Laziness. Okay. I mean, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all too busy. Everyone's busy, right? What's the first thing people answer? How you doing? Oh, busy. Never just busy, one busy, always double busy, right? At any rate,
waving hi to the people.
Of course, we're all busy, but you know what? Then we have to live with the choices that we make when we're busy. What we're talking about here is when we talk about like stuff that's matching, we're talking about just buying like sets of things, and sometimes that makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Like cutlery,
right? Plates.
There's an argument to have completely. I'm all for like all kinds of different, completely different cutlery too. But I think then it becomes like There's a thing where it's like when when there's uniformity, it's because generally there's a feeling, I'm for uniformity on stuff when there's a utility, right, served.
Right.
Like cutlery shouldn't necessarily be the first thing I'm thinking of while I'm eating. It should be the food,
Right. And the
right?
company and the
Yeah, yeah,
ambiance
yeah.
and whatever, all
What I'm
that stuff.
experiencing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
If I'm a cutlery manufacturer, maybe something different. But anyways, as a whole, I think it comes out of laziness, being sold to, and all that stuff. That's where we tend to go for the matching sets. And I think you see that in like living rooms.
Yeah.
Old school.
Maybe more old school kind. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt, but
no,
maybe
no.
more like old school vibes.
Yep.
I feel like, even retail stores nowadays do mix and match,
You're right.
sort of like their vignettes, if you
Yeah.
will, which I think is good. It's a good
Yep.
step forward.
Yep.
I think where it really bothers me, the matching set,
Yeah.
is and I know we just talked about this, is when we're talking about exterior and furniture. And I think it's maybe
And that can make sense too. Sorry.
it can,
in
yeah.
a commercial setting or a
Yes.
hospitality setting.
Yes, like at a resort.
You're looking for an
or
aesthetic,
Yeah.
right? You have this uniformity because it's almost like the ocean kind of thing, and then you've got like kind of like the sunset. I mean, in hospitality, you're selling views, you're selling other things. You know what I mean? And again, it can make a lot of sense that way.
Yeah.
So matchy matchy is not always bad.
Yeah.
Is matching sets and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't make sense. It can make sense.
I think maybe what we're saying here, and this could really be sort of just not to like dumb it down, that's a negative word maybe, but I think it's maybe just about, let's get out of that box and let's get out of our comfort zone and let's maybe try to be a bit more creative, especially when it comes to, we're not talking about hospitality or restaurants or whatever, where obviously we know that, they're there to sort of curate an experience, right?
Yeah.
And I suppose in your own home, you're trying to create your own experience, or create or curate an experience for like,
I'm like, well, it's an experience to live at home too,
yeah, well,
right?
but also for your guests and family or anyone
Yeah.
coming over. But I think it's also like, let's come out of like that comfort bubble maybe and just be a bit more creative. Let's pair that, like, I don't know, green outdoor sofa with that like white outdoor chair, or what, I don't know, whatever. These are just sort of the colors that, or combos that I'm thinking of now.
Well, there it is. I think it's more about combinations as opposed to matching, right? Because there's, like we talked about, there's like, when it becomes, there's like uniformity, with intention is like editing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
You're
matching,
so philosophical.
Thanks.
I'm like Flavor Flav.
No, because there's also
I'm like the hype.
In landscaping, there's plantings, right? And then there's certain occasions where where we want a certain amount of variety. In other occasions, I can think of several projects that we've worked on where we just did huge mass plantings of like one thing,
right?
Because it was also looking for a feeling, right?
So I think maybe maybe the matchy matchy, just to sort of say no matchy matchy. I don't think that's the rule 100%. I think it's like in the right context, in the right environment. But then I think it's also like, let's not be afraid to be non-matchy matchy.
Right.
Let's not be afraid to sort of like take a risk. And really, it's just furniture or plants or paint colors or whatever. It's not the end of the world, for example, to, if you want to make a splash, for example. I'm thinking about paint colors now. I'm going to go on a tangent, but let's just say you want to paint one room in your home forest green. Don't be afraid to do that. You don't need to match that room to the whole rest, to the whole other paint, to the paint color of your entire whole home. I think,
at the same time, if you're painting though too, you could paint a whole house kind of like all the walls one color.
Yeah, I know. So,
but then like then it's about how you break it up.
Right.
Because then you don't have chairs that are the same color as the paint, and sofas that are the same color as the paint. That's when it becomes like kind of like matchy matchy. And I mean, what I've described is slightly insane. It's like,
what is it?
Yeah, like
wow
Wow, wow, wow. Wow.
perception kind of thing. But it's about breaking things up, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just like also in the end, it's like um, you like if we can step back and say it feels like a showroom, like in the worst possible way.
Yes. Because there are good
Yeah, yeah,
good
yeah.
interiors or good exterior or whatever, good
Yeah.
design that sort of makes you feel
Yep.
like you're in a showroom. But you also, I think that comes with a negative connotation because that tends to seem like a space is not lived in and it's soulless, right? So
Yeah.
I think, um, I think the gist of sort of what we're saying in this episode is don't be afraid to take chances and risks. Um, don't it's great to go into a store and get inspiration on sort of how they've laid out a space or sort of
Yeah.
created a vignette or whatever, because sometimes even as designers we get stuck in,
Sure.
there's so many choices and options really.
Yeah.
But I think it's sort of, I mean, it's just design. Let's not,
It's not rocket surgery.
it's not rocket surgery. And don't be afraid to be creative and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know, if you hate it, sell it on Marketplace or somewhere.
Go for that 5-star marketplace rating.
Yeah, and
that's that's something that no one can take away from you.
Yeah, and I see a puppy on the bridge. I may die.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
we may have to wrap this video up soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, when Matchy Matchy feels that way, when it's born out of laziness, like I said, I know we're all busy, but if we can invest a little bit of time into doing that, or invest maybe you invest other resources into someone helping you with that. Shameless plug, I guess, for designers out there around the world. Make things feel kind of like and to make it feel like human, to make things feel more collected as opposed to like composed. If that's a good way to describe it, I don't know. And it doesn't have to mean, that doesn't mean like stuff from a garage sale, although garage sales might render some really awesome vintage stuff, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Because that's a rabbit hole. I just literally was thinking about
maybe
that.
we do our own discussion around vintage and new.
Yeah,
that's a great another
love
video.
that.
Vintage or new? What are we doing there?
Yeah, vintage mixed with like brand new,
Yeah.
mixed with some maybe even trendy stuff.
Let us know in the comments if that's a good video. Whoa.
Or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let us know if you will unsubscribe or subscribe based on that, or our performance in this video. Anyways, so Matchy Matchy. Just by the way, I think we say that. I mean, I think a lot of people can understand what we talk about when it's Matchy Matchy. If you did it because you were lazy or because you're like you wanted to get out of the store, the feeling that we end up with out of that in the long term is one that might not be as good as something that you could have been. And that's what this is about. I mean, if you're happy with that, fine, amazing, turn it off, watch the next video. But if you're the type of person, I think if you're watching this, you're generally the type of person who's interested in how they can do things to best express themselves and kind of like level up the way.
And don't be afraid. And I think maybe,
you.
but also,
talking too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're on the rock again, but I think, I think just to kind of like round things up, it's really busy around here. The train's going by, there's construction, gone. The puppy's gone. I'm sad.
It's almost lunchtime.
It's almost lunchtime. I think it's also like, don't be in a rush. And I say this, it's so funny because, we work on projects for such a long period of time. And by the end of it, everyone just wants to wrap things up. But sometimes those good things take time. And there's something to be said for, slow design and that process. That's a whole other episode, I feel like.
But to your point, take some time.
Yeah.
Think about the things that you really like. Get some clarity rather than rush.
And then don't go in and just say, wrap this up for me, salesperson. I would like this whole look. Take the time, maybe get the sofa and get the area rug, and then wait to get the chairs and the table and the accessories and the whatever, and curate that look over time. I think this is where
that's the shift, is taking that time, being I guess it's all, again, it's about being confident and being having some intent.
Yes.
Sounds wooey and mindset stuff. You know, the stuff that I scroll past. As soon as I hear mindset, I'm done. I don't want to listen to it. But in reality, I'm not done. We appreciate that, and I think the results show that way for you. So I think that's the shift.
Yeah.
You know, if you like what you're hearing, obviously
subscribe.
If
you don't, I suppose don't do anything.
Tell Amelia what you didn't like about what she said in the comments.
M and P out.